You're listening to This Is My Side Hustle. The tips, tools, and advice you need to optimize your life live here. If you're looking to unlock the secrets to additional income by engineering your choices around your ideal lifestyle, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and join us as we unpack unconventional ideas and methods to give you more freedom and flexibility. Let's escape the rat race together and live with intention. Let's learn how others are making it pay with their side hustles. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of This Is My Side Hustle. Today I'm going to be talking about whether or not you can figure out if you need to take your side hustle full time. So I'm going to give you a few pointers, talk about each of those pointers to know whether you're ready or not to make the switch from just a part-time side hustle to an actual full-fledged business. I also have some new side hustle opportunities that I've found that I'm excited to share with you. And I also wanted to say I'm sorry I missed last week's episode. My husband took the week off and my kids were at summer camp. So my husband and I spent the whole week doing stuff around the house, just some maintenance, some painting, stuff inside, stuff outside that we've been putting off. And we took the week to do that and just hang out and enjoy each other without the kids around. And I decided to go ahead and skip a week. But I'm back and ready to show up again and hopefully give you guys some tips on how to maximize your lifestyle. So let's get started with some signs that you are ready to actually take your side hustle full-time. Number one, the risks of self-employment won't financially devastate you. Even if your side hustle now outpaces your income at your regular job, you need to consider the downside of self-employment. What if the income fluctuates? What if you can't get or afford health insurance? What if you can't handle it? If it fails? Do you have a way to go back to your regular job if it doesn't make it? Or do you have other job prospects lined up that you could do if you wanted to make a complete career change? And also, who else is at risk if your enterprise does not work? You really need to consider if you're okay with risk. Starting a business is a risky endeavor. Entrepreneurs are risk takers. If you thrive on risk and you're okay with answering some of these or not being sure or confident that you'll be okay if you can take the leap, then it might be time to wait. Or it might be time to work on your mindset. Kind of like, this is going to work no matter what, and if it doesn't, no big deal. I'll try something else. I'll go back to my other job. But definitely consider the pros and cons and who else is going to be affected if your business does not make it, because over 90% of businesses fail, and it's just a reality. So be prepared to perhaps try several different things before you really find something that works. Number two, you're spending more time and money on your side hustle. So working a side hustle is kind of like a balancing act. Typically, the scales fall in favor of income generation. But when the scales tip toward the side hustle with respect to your name or brand recognition, time spent on projects and investment in tools and training and software, it's time to consider moving over to the heavier side. When this happens, it's a sure sign your passion, energy, and potential success has shifted. So you want to consider that. If you're spending a whole lot more time and money on your side hustle and you're really passionate about it and you're ready to take it to the next step, then that's another thing you need to consider. Number three, your revenue growth is greater than the cost of doing business. So a lot of times when you're first getting started, your costs outweigh your income. And that's just pretty normal, especially in the first few months to a year or several years, depending on how much your startup costs are. But viable side hustles often enrich your life beyond just monetary gains. Fulfillment, creativity, independence, and flexibility, those are big ones for me, are a few of the enrichments you gain through side hustles. These reasons are often more why people decide to make the leap. It's more of a lifestyle choice rather than income. But converting a side hustle to the main squeeze requires effective business models where revenue growth is greater than the cost of doing business. So even if you're happy doing your side hustle, but it's costing you, you're barely making any money, you shouldn't be taking it full time. Number 4, you're willing to spend time on administrative tasks. So, or if you're getting enough revenue, you can hire a virtual assistant. But there's this view that if you follow your passion and do what you love, you're going to love what you do. But running a business isn't just fun. There's marketing, sales, and administrative tasks involved. Can you spend the time on these tasks, and do you really want to? Will you be confident enough to do all of the parts of your business at the beginning? How do you feel when you have to negotiate with somebody or tell somebody that they didn't pay you on time? These are very real things. How do you feel about marketing? How do you feel about setting up social media accounts? How do you feel about putting your name and brand out there? These are definitely things that you need to consider that do come along with being a business owner. And like I said, once you start to increase your revenue, you can outsource the things that really aren't worth your time or that you don't like doing. Number 5, you're bringing in enough money to cover your expenses and then some. So you know it's time to quit your day job for your part-time side gig when you're bringing in enough money to pay for your personal and business expenses with money left over to enjoy your life. This means you should be making the same amount or more in the part-time job as you do in your current full-time job. Also, consider if the side hustle is really a hobby or something you can do every day. Number 6, your side hustle aligns with your true mission. Do you just want a way to make money, or do you want to enjoy a passionate, purposeful life? Identify your life purpose, because sooner or later this calling will pester you until you answer, I'm ready. Once you're aware of your personal mission, countless opportunities appear. If your true purpose is tied to your side hustle, it will be much easier to sustain momentum when times are tough. So one reason I do what I do is because my family and being able to be around when my kids need me is very important to me. If I was working a full-time job outside the home, I could not do that, especially with them being in gymnastics and going to school and having school activities and being the age they are now where they have tons of things going on. And I wouldn't be home when my husband gets home. He works irregular hours a lot of times. I want to be around for when my family is around, and that's really important to me. And that kind of drives what I do. I also love marketing. I love marketing for other businesses. I'm not crazy about marketing my own, which I did hire a virtual assistant for a while to do my own marketing, and then I just decided I don't really care because right now I really don't need extra business. I've got a great income coming in. I work very part-time, and I know how to do it if I want to ramp it up. And most of my clients come from word of mouth anyway. Almost all of them have come from word of mouth at this point. So I decided, this is definitely something I can do that aligns with with what's important. And I'm also really impassioned and I'm excited about side hustles and maximizing your dollar and saving more money than what's typical for people. I'm also excited about finding new ways of increasing income while putting in not as much effort on a full-time job. And number 7, you care more about your side hustle than your day job. So interestingly enough, many individuals use financial aspects to determine the viability of switching to full-time entrepreneurship. Although that's valid, it's a short-sighted strategy. The determining factor should be passion. Do you care more for the side hustle than your day job? When passion is used, the income will come. Passionate entrepreneurs tend to reach their financial goals faster and easier. Number 8, there's a sufficient market for your side hustle. You might be doing fine with your side hustle, serving low-hanging fruit customers, but the main question you need to answer is there a large enough market to replace my full-time work? You should evaluate the market and make sure that it will fully support you without the extra income. The side job might look good, you might like it, but in reality, if it doesn't have enough customers to support full-time employment, you're going to be out of luck. So you need to think about this. Is the market saturated? Are you doing something that a million other people are already doing and they're doing it way better and they've had more experience? Then maybe that's not the right market for you to be in. Maybe that's not the right industry. Is your passion and side hustle so niche that it's extremely hard to find the people who are interested, and you would have to spend lots of money on reaching these extremely niche customers? Are you even marketing in the spots where they hang out? Where are your customers hanging out? Are you making yourself present there? So those are things you definitely need to consider. Number 9, the financial model works on paper. One of the biggest mistakes solopreneurs and entrepreneurs make is that they jump into a new venture without doing a basic financial model. Until you can sketch out 12 months of P&Ls that lead to positive cash flow, don't quit your day job. If you can't make it work on paper, you won't be able to make it work in real life. So P&Ls means profit and loss. So you need to track everything realistically for your first 12 months before you decide to take the leap. Number 10, people are willing to pay for your expertise. The easiest way to test if your side hustle has wings is to ask yourself this question. Do you have knowledge or expertise that people are willing to pay for and you can improve someone's position or life by sharing it? If the answer is yes, there are ways to monetize your expertise. If you do this correctly, your side hustle can very much become your main income over time. Number 11, going full-time with your side hustle would add value to your life. It can be helpful to examine how much pleasure is derived from a side business. Doing what you love can't be overrated. If your side business has full-time effort, how much more value could it add? That's a critical question that you need to answer. If you were able to make the leap, let's say, from a full-time job where you commute to and you're working 8 to 10 hours a day, but you were able to do a side hustle that was half that time from home so you could be more available, be more flexible, that adds so much value to your life. Even if you weren't making quite enough, if you were making enough to cover your expenses and have some savings and your business and personal expenses and health insurance and all of that, it would be worth taking a pay cut for sure. Number 12, you've created a new market. If your side hustle was born of ingenuity and is a brand new response to a new and growing demand, consider the cost of waiting to launch your startup. If you're willing to bet the farm and be the first to market, create your business plan, secure financing for the first 3 years, and make the leap, then that could be a big reward for you. But you're going to have to deal with bootstrapping and pitching to investors, and if you're perhaps having something manufactured, it's going to take a lot longer to be the first to market. Number 13, you're running toward your side hustle rather than away from your main job. So this is really important. There are obvious things to consider like finances, day-to-day activities, the risk, and whether you're passionate. But one thing that is critically important is whether you're drawn toward your new venture or whether you're just running away from something else. A vision or a dream creates resilience through the ups and downs. Also, know how it fits into the long-term vision for yourself. So if you just hate your job and you're like, I'm just going to jump into my side hustle full time, but you're not crazy about your side hustle or you haven't laid the plans for that, it's not going to be a good thing for you. And number 14, you feel ready to take the leap. I'm not saying you should just jump willy-nilly into something that's not profitable or not driven by passion. However, too often people never make the leap to full-time with their side hustle because you can never truly excel in any one direction when you're straddling two paths. If you've done the work, built the brand, and found the demand and profit to be there, then it's likely time to go all in. Okay, so hopefully some of these things help you decide, am I really ready to go all in or am I not? Of course, everyone's going to have their own personal situations, things they need to consider, their own timelines. If you're young and in your 20s still and haven't settled down and started a family, it's going to be a lot easier for you to weather the storms of taking some financial risks or doing something different. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But if you're in the thick of it, although I was in the thick of having young children, and I decided to ramp up my business then, right when we were moving. We moved into our house and I opened up my LLC virtual assistant business basically the same exact week, which was crazy. And my kids were young, 4 years younger than they are now, and I made it work. Although I wasn't going from a situation where I had a full-time job outside of the home before. I had dabbled in different things. I had my blog, I had my Etsy store, but I really committed to it then, and it's worked out great so far. If you're retired or nearing retirement, it might be a great time for you to take the leap into a full-time side hustle. Now, don't leave your job if you've got 1 or 2 years left and you're going to reap a lot more financial rewards if you stick it out 1 or 2 years. It's okay to wait 1 or 2 years. And then it's a lot easier once you're retired, you have more time on your hands to go ahead and make the switch to a side hustle. And you'll probably be more passionate about it because you'll have the time to devote. You won't be straddling two different things. So at the beginning of your adult life and nearing the end of your adult life is the perfect time to do this. If you're right in the thick of things, or if you're at all financially stressed already or stretched really thin, you might want to consider just keeping it part-time, or perhaps negotiating a raise at your main job. If you feel like you're maybe undervalued and not making what you should, you can definitely negotiate a raise and pick up some side hustles that won't infringe on your family time. Those are just some tips of how to know when you're really ready to give it your all. Now, there's a couple things that I did want to talk about. I know in past episodes, I've discussed how survey sites are kind of a joke, and you barely make any money for the time you put in, maybe a couple bucks an hour, maybe $10 an hour if you're lucky, but they're kind of boring, they're not that fun, and that's not really a viable, sustainable side hustle. That's like beer money or something. But I did find a news site called Respondent, and you can make an average of $100 an hour doing surveys. They're more like, well, they're not exactly surveys. You take a pre-qualifying survey, and then the researchers will reach out to you if they feel you fit it better, and then you do like an hour-long kind of survey answering research questions and things like that if they feel like you are a good fit for their research. And if you go to makingitpaytostay.com/respond, RESPOND, you can sign up. It's totally free to sign up. You just fill out a quick profile, and then you get access to all kinds of different studies. I just signed up for one for eBay sellers that pays $200 for 1 hour of my time. There was another one for marketing that was $100 for an hour. There's all kinds of them on there. Like I said, the average is about $100 an hour. Some of them are a little less money, maybe $30 for 15 minutes, but that's, $12 an hour or $120 an hour. So definitely take a look at that. Go sign up at makingitpaytostay.com/respond. This is the first site I've found that actually pays decently and is legit for taking surveys and getting paid for it. and getting paid nicely. That's something that I would consider worth my time. If it's over $30 an hour, I definitely want to share it with you. Some people would be totally fine making $10 to $20 an hour, which is fine. But the ones that give you the biggest bang for your buck, why not spend your time doing that, right? Another new thing I found to save money and earn rewards through your utility usage, so your electric usage, is called Ohm Connect. That's OHM. And if you go to makingitpaytostay.com/Ohm, OHM, you can sign up and connect your utility account and earn cash rewards for saving on your utility bills, which I thought was super cool because, number one, I'm really conscious of if my lights are on and what my thermostat is set to, and not leaving lights on that don't need to be left on, and using energy saving appliances and putting extra insulation in our attic to cut down on utility costs. And our utility costs are extremely reasonable for the size of our home, and I thought, well, why not be rewarded for it also? Now, there's certain things in my area that I didn't qualify for to get tracked, but there's other ones that I was able to connect and have tracked. You might not want to do this if you get the heebie-jeebies about sharing your utility information. Don't do it. I used to be like that, and then we were kind of forced to get a smart meter, which isn't my favorite thing, but I'm like, well, we had to do it. And honestly, if I'm going to get rewarded and paid for doing something I didn't want to do, but I have to anyway, well, at least it makes it a little easier to deal with. So consider that. But that website address again is makingitpaytostay.com/Ohm, OHM, and you can sign up for that. There's another side gig that is hiring right now that I thought looked pretty promising, and it's extremely flexible. So I wanted to share it with you. The 2020 U.S. Census is beginning a hiring campaign, and they have to fill 500,000 part-time jobs for the 2020 census. So basically what happens is, it's required by law that people fill out their census information. Everyone is going to be getting paper in the mail, or I think you can also do it online, to fill out, the demographics of your household, who all lives there, how old they are, all of that. What's really cool about this census taker job is you can make anywhere from $13 to $30 per hour depending on where in the country you live. You can apply online. You have to be 18, a U.S. citizen, have a social security number, and pass a criminal background check. So if you are an adult, a U.S. citizen, have a social security number, and pass a criminal background check, you will probably be accepted because they need to fill 500,000 jobs. So they're just temporary jobs. They're part-time. Again, it was $13 to $30 per hour, depending on where in the country you live. I checked out where I lived, and they're paying $16 an hour. But what's really cool about this is you can work your 40-hour per week job and just work for the census on the evenings or weekends or whatever. There isn't, as far as I know, as far as I could tell, there's not a minimum time required to spend on this. And it would happen after April 1st, 2020. So if you're looking for a side hustle for next year, sign up now and go ahead and apply. So what you'll do is, if people don't fill out their phone or paper questionnaire by April 1st, then the census takers, the side gig people, will start going door. So after April 1st, 2020, census takers will go door to door and just ask people questions. So they'll ask how many people are living in the home as of that date, the age, race, and gender of each person living there, if a person living there is of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, and also about the relationship each person has to one central person in the home. So it's kind of cool. It's about 6 weeks long. The Bureau is also specifically looking to hire people who can speak languages beside English and people who live in a neighborhood with a large number of immigrants. That doesn't apply to me, but it did look like when I went to look at it that in my area they definitely are looking for people. So I don't know, like going door to door kind of weirds me out, but I'm thinking that I might want to try it. I don't know. We'll see. I think I need more details before I decide to do something like that. But, I mean, when my kids are in school, and if I could do it around their gymnastics schedule, I might be willing to do something like that. Meet my neighbors, things like that. I'm sure, though, there are going to be people who are belligerent and don't want to answer questions, but I think I would be okay with that. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for you this time. I think next week I'm going to be talking about skills you can learn quickly and easily to work online and start your own business. There's different things that are in high demand now that I wanted to share with you that really aren't that hard to learn. And not only could you start your own business, but you could do freelancing for other people or get an actual work from home position with a company with some of those skills. So be on the lookout for that. If it doesn't come next week, I'll definitely do it in the next couple of episodes. But I wanted to encourage you to please rate, review, subscribe, share it with your friends. If you want to be on the podcast, I'd love to have you. Go to makingitpaytostay.com/voicemail. There's links there for you to leave me a voicemail or apply to be on the show, or even just leave me a comment about your thoughts and maybe tips or tricks that you have that I could share with listeners. All right, guys, so thanks so much for listening, and until next time, this is my side hustle. You know what one of the best side hustles is? Getting cash back for things you spend money on anyway, every single month, all of the time without doing anything different. So for that, I suggest the American Express Blue Cash Card. You'll get 6% back on groceries and 3% back on gas. And every single month, they have over 50 different special offers for specific merchants who are offering cash back on purchases. Sometimes they have minimums, sometimes they don't. But I highly suggest you check into this because there's no better way to assist your side hustle than pay for things you already have to pay for while getting money back that you otherwise wouldn't be getting. So go to makingitpaytostay.com/blueamex. That's makingitpay-to-stay.com/BLUEAMEX. One of your recurring but necessary expenses is most likely homeowners and car insurance. I used to shop around every 6 to 12 months to find cheaper rates on my insurance policies. The time it took me was unacceptable. I would spend hours emailing, calling. I would usually get it down, but then I thought, is this really worth my time? Then I heard about Gabi. You shouldn't have to worry about insurance. And with Gabi, now you don't have to. They do all of the shopping for you. You just send them your current insurance as a PDF or even just a picture of it. Let them compare up to 20 quotes, and then you save if you buy the cheaper policy directly from Gabi. Their advisors are standing by if you have any questions, and they compare all of your insurance options to find you the right policy, all in under 2 minutes. No tedious forms to fill out, no cold calls, and they save an average of $720 per year per customer. 9.6 out of 10 people recommend them. And I do too. They saved me $653 this year, and it only took me a few minutes, not the hours and hours I was spending before. If you want to use Gabi to shop around and reduce your insurance rates, go to makingitpaytostay.com/Gabi. That's GABI. That's makingitpaytostay.com/Gabi, GABI.